Do you know what I have for today? Because I want to read a story about Princess Sofia, and Princess Sofia is my favorite princess. I hope you like it. Before I start, please subscribe to this channel and my new channel. I'll put the link of it in the description. Okay, now let's start. Sofia the First. Once upon a princess. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Enchantia, there lived a little girl named Sofia. She and her mother Miranda didn't have much, but the cobbler shop, but they were happy. One morning, Sofia and her mother went to the castle to bring King Roland a new pair of shoes. He and Miranda took one look at each other, and it was love at first sight. The couple married, and soon Sofia and her mom were off to the castle for a life they never could have imagined. Miranda lovingly greeted the king's children, Princess Amber and Prince James. Then she gave them each a pen she had embroidered with their family crests. King Roland placed a tiara on Sofia's head. "Welcome to the family." "I think it's going to take me a while to get the hang of things around here," Amber noted. "Just follow my lead and you'll be okay." Sofia was grateful. Her new sister was going to help her learn everything she needed to know. Or so she thought. At dinner that evening, Sofia counted 6 different forks by her plate. Silverware clattered to the floor as she picked up one fork, then another. King Roland could see it was going to take a while for Sofia to get used to her new royal life. He had a surprise to help her feel welcome. "We will be throwing a royal ball in your honor at week's end, and you and I shall dance the first waltz." Later on, Sofia went to her mom's room. "I don't know anything about being a princess, and I don't know how to dance. I'm going to trip, and everyone's going to laugh at me." Miranda smiled down at Sofia and assured her daughter she'd be fine if she just tried her best. Just then, they heard a knock at the door. It was King Roland with a beautiful gift for Sofia. "It's a very special amulet, so you must promise to never take it off. Now you best run off to bed. You have princess school in the morning." Princess school! Sofia liked the sound of that. Maybe she could learn how to act like a real princess in time for the ball after all. As Sofia skipped back to her room, she bumped into Cedric. The royal sorcerer's beady eyes went straight to the amulet around Sofia's neck. It was the amulet of Avalor, the powerful charm Cedric had been trying to get for years. With his magic, he could overthrow King Roland and rule Enchantia. Cedric immediately began to scheme how he'd trick Sofia into giving it to him. The next morning, Sofia joined Amber and James for the coach ride to Royal Prep Academy. The headmistresses, Flora, Fauna, and Meriwether greeted her at the gates. At school, Sofia didn't need to worry about making friends. The other children liked her a lot, which made Amber jealous. She was used to being the popular one. Amber turned to James. "I think it's time Sophia's took a ride on the magic swing." So James led Sofia to the swing. "Try it! You don't have to kick. It swings itself." Sofia climbed onto the swing. She was enjoying the ride until the swing sped up and sent her flying into the fountain. Sofia put a brave smile. while the other kids laughed. But James could tell she was upset. He felt terrible about cracking his new sister. Sophia hurried off to dry her dress. As she tried to hold back her tears, she heard frantic chirping coming from the woods. A baby bird has fallen out of its nest. She gently placed the tiny thing next to its mother. As she did, the amulet around her neck began to glow. There you go, just the two of you, the way it should be. When Sophia said goodbye to her new friends and turned to leave, she thought she heard a tiny squeaky voice say, "Thank you." But she must have been hearing things. Birds didn't talk. When Sophia arrived home from her awful day at school, Cedric was waiting. "I would love you like a private tour of my lair. Workshop. Not even the king himself has seen it." In Cedric's workshop, Sophia saw a picture of the amulet of Avalor. "That looks just like my amulet." "But if you have the amulet of Avalor, you'd know, for it contains powerful magic. I can take a quick look at it." Sophia shook her head. "I promised I never to take it off." As soon as Cedric saw his plan wasn't working, he rushed her out the door. This was going to be tougher than he thought. The next morning, Sophia awoke to find Clover, a rabbit, and his bird friends Robin and Mia on her bed. They had come to help her get ready, and Sophia could understand every word they were saying. Then she remembered something. "I helped the baby bird yesterday, and I think the amulet gave me the power to talk to animals." After breakfast with her new friends, Sophia left for royal prep. She hoped her second day would be better. Sophia tried hard in all her classes, but she went home feeling discouraged again. "I thought being a princess would be easy, but it's really hard." Miranda had a surprise. She led Sophia to the patio, where her two best friends were waiting at a fancy table set for tea. Sophie was so glad to see them. "Jade! Ruby!" James joined the party too. He still felt bad about tricking Sophia and wanted to make it up to her. Soon Sophia was bursting and pouring tea like a proper princess. But she told James she still didn't know how to dance. "No problem. We have dance class with Professor Popov tomorrow. You'll be dancing circles around all of us." Amber had been watching everyone have fun without her. Now she was even more jealous of her stepsister. She had to make sure Sophia didn't dance better than she did. The next day before dance class, Amber gave Sophia a sparkling pair of dance slippers to wear. Sophia put on the slippers, which immediately took control of her feet. She spun helplessly across the floor until the music ended and she collapsed into a pile of pillows. Amber shrugged. "I must have grabbed a pair of Cedric's trick shoes by mistake. Sorry about that." Sophia decided she couldn't chance another disaster at the ball. Princesses just didn't go crashing into things, so when they got home, she went to Cedric for help. I have just this spell for you. He gave Sofia magic words to say when the waltz began. Little did she know that the spell would put everyone to sleep and help Cedric steal the amulet. Soon it was time to get ready for the ball. Amber was admiring herself in the mirror when James came in. You gave Sophia the track shoes on purpose. You're trying to ruin her ball because everyone likes her more than you. And after that, what you did today, so do I. James, come back! Amber went after him and accidentally tore her gun. How could she go to the ball now? Sophia stood in front of her own mirror and stared at herself in her fancy gown and glittering tiara. She felt like a real princess. For the first time that week, Sophia was actually looking forward to the ball. A little while later, everyone watched as King Roland proudly escorted a beaming Sophia into the ballroom. The orchestra began to play. It was time for the first waltz. Sophia confidently spoke the magic words Cedric had given her. Somnibus, Populi, Kella. Everyone instantly fell asleep, including Cedric. I must have said it wrong. Sophie ran out the ballroom. It seemed as if ever since she had become a princess, she couldn't do anything right. Sophia sank to the floor and cried. A single tear fell onto her amulet and made it glow. Suddenly, a blue light appeared and transformed into Cinderella. Your amulet brought me here. It links all the princesses that ever were. And when one of us is in trouble, another will come to help. Why are you so sad, Sophia? Sophia told Cinderella about trying to use a magic spell to help her become a better princess. Cinderella smiled as she explained that she wasn't always a princess either. But she discovered that the people who truly cared about you didn't care which fork you used or how well you danced. Cinderella couldn't undo the spell, but she suggested that Sophia try to become true sisters with Amber, something she'd never been able to do with her own stepsister. Perhaps all she needs is a second chance. Then Cinderella disappeared. Sophia went to Amber's room. I've done something terrible. She told her stepsister about the spell and then led her to the ballroom. When Amber saw her father, she gasped in shock. Sophia felt terrible. It's all my fault. Amber shook her head. No, Sophia. You wouldn't have needed the spell if I didn't give you those trick shoes. The girls realized that what they really needed was each other. Together, they went to Cedric's workshop to find a spell to wake everyone up. But they had to get past Cedric's pet raven, Wormwood, first. Clover, Mia, and Robin helped, and soon the raven was locked in his cage. Let's find the counterspell. Wormwood didn't realize that with her amulet, Sophia could understand every word he said. So Clover tricked him into revealing where the counterspell book was hidden. Now Cedric's spell could be broken. Sophia and Amber were rushing to the ballroom when Amber remembered her torn dress. I can't go in there looking like this. But Sophia wasn't about to leave her sister behind. She quickly mended the gown. There we go, good as new. Now it was Amber's turn to help. She led her sister in a waltz until Sophia was ready for the ball. Sophia smiled as she took her place beside the king. Popularly, Kayla excited. To her relief, everyone woke up. Cedric was furious that his plan had been ruined. He flicked his wand and disappeared in a puff of smoke. Merlin's mushrooms! Meanwhile, Sophia and the king began to waltz. Sophia looked up at her new dad. I've been wondering, why do they call you Roland II? The king explained to Sophia that his father had also been named Roland. So I guess that makes me Sophia the First. And it was plain to see that this princess was going to live happily ever after. This is the end of this wonderful story about Princess Sophia. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and the new channel. Thanks for watching this video and bye bye!